So in yesterday's video, I talked about we need men who are confident and covered in humility. And oftentimes the way we learn humility is not always the most pleasing way. Or sometimes it's a little bit embarrassing. Let me give an example. I've shared this on the podcast and stuff, but a couple years ago, my wife got this calendar. Her desk is over here. She has a calendar. And every time we were talking about a plan, our kids were in a season where things were getting a lot busier than they had been. We have 3 kids, and they had a lot going on, you know, from school activities, and I had a couple girls starting to work, and you know, church stuff, everything. And then we have tribe marriage Zoom calls that my wife is a part of, and so a lot of different moving pieces. And every time that I said, "Hey, on the 17th, you know, do you think we're going to be able to go here?" Or, "Hey, don't forget on the 25th, we need to make sure we..." And she would go to that desk and she would bring out this spiral calendar and a pen. And she'd say, "Okay, 9 o'clock that day, are we going to do that?" "Okay." And she'd write it down. Whatever. Well, this happened for like months. And I think it was the spring of that year. So every time we plan, you know, spring break, we're going out of town, you know, we got this, hey, he's got a game at 9 o'clock on that day or whatever. She'd go get that calendar, bring it out, and I thought to myself, you're acting like an old lady. What are we doing? Like, can you just confirm that day we're going to do it? I mean, you know, that's the plan. That's what we're going with. And then one day, I don't know what it was, I just realized, like, my mind is mush when it comes to keeping all these things together. She works at 3, they get off at 9, we got to do this. And for whatever reason, humility, that's the reason, I went on Amazon and I searched for a spiral calendar. And I got this thing here, holding it up. All it says, well, the framework sticker, I added that, but it says monthly calendar, 2023-2025 calendar planner. I just searched for a spiral one. I wanted one that was, what's that, about 8.5 by 11, you know, legal sheet paper size. I wanted spiral. I liked that I could fold it. And I wanted it big enough that I could write in it. And I started to write things down. It appears that I started to write things down around on Monday, July 17th. How about that? My birthday. On that day, I started to write things down. And from there, I just got all kinds of dates. I got Zoom calls, I have tribe stuff, I have herd stuff, I have podcast interviews, I have church things, I have school things, I have a whole bunch of my kids' schedules and more. And especially when it comes to, like, you know, other people's schedules that you need to get on your calendar. I'm going to tell you right now, you need to get yourself a spiral bound calendar and a pencil. You see, I feel like I'm going old man mode. Hey, there's worse things to be. Let me tell you, that spiral calendar and a pencil is a game changer, because you can mark it down, but that doesn't mean things aren't going to change. Now, I know I got my computer right here. I got my phone over here. I know Google Calendar and shared and all of the, I understand that. I understand that. But I promise you this, there is something different about writing it down. Everybody I interview for the podcast, for example, I write it down. But I still send them a meeting invitation with all the logistics, all the details. And so I can see it, and I can see if they confirmed and vice. That's great. That's wonderful. But I'm telling you, for your sanity and for your home, and if you're married, for your marriage, and if you have kids, for your kids' schedules, you want a spiral-bound calendar and a pencil, and you take that thing with you wherever you need to go. You leave it on your desk, you leave it in your car, wherever. What I have done is I've started to get to the point where, and I don't do this a lot, if I'm mapping out something for, you know, the next several months, it might have a certain color. Or I might put a little dot here to symbolize something. Or I might underline that because I want to make sure that stands out. Or, you know, here was last day of school of May of 2024, and then there was an interview here at 10 a.m., and then this was the video that went live. And if you feel like you're juggling schedules, any schedule besides your own, you're going to need to get yourself a spiral-bound calendar and a pencil, if I haven't said that already. I got several pencils. I even like to keep a pencil sharpener right there. I want to keep it sharp. I want to keep the eraser good to go. And I just write it down. Something comes across my desk. I'm talking to my wife. My kid comes in and says, "Hey, next Tuesday, can you take me?" hang on a second. We're going to open it up. We're going to write it down. You know, there's a guy on Instagram, I think. I don't know if he's still doing it, but he always had a phrase that said, the old way is better. And in this instance, he's right. Again, you can have the digital, you can have the portable, you can have the downloadable. I think there's a place for those things, especially if there's people at a distance and you need to share and communicate stuff, you need links, you need passwords, 100%. But I'll tell you what, not only is it visually appealing to be able to look at it and see the layout or say, boy, I haven't met with that person since the 2nd. Now we're on to the 26th. Yeah, I need to touch base again. Got some notes and stuff like that. Now, here's the thing. I'm not trying to break the bank here, and I think you know that. Maybe you've already bought all your Christmas gifts. You know, by the time you're watching this, you're beyond Christmas. I'm trying to think of some pragmatic things we should talk about to get you ready for the next year. And I'll tell you, for just under $8, you can get one of these calendars. I ordered mine the other day. I think it said $6.99. There was tax somewhere on Amazon. Somewhere in the next few days, it should arrive. I've used this for a year and a half. This isn't me sitting down for 6 weeks telling you this thing will change your life. I'm just saying, if you want to be more organized, if you want to be less scattered, if you want to be on the same page with not only your spouse or other people, and you want to also protect your time. Now, that's another part of this. When I look at this, and I see this laid out, and I see all the writings, I don't know if you can see that on here, but there's a lot of pencil on there, a lot of pencil writings, a lot of markings, check marks. I know that's happened. When I look at that, it also helps me to see where I'm spending my time. I don't map out my whole day on here. I use my Google Cal for that. I have everything mapped out for the day. These are the big things. The Google Cal has, I'm going to do this for 15 minutes. I'm going to check email at this time. I'm going to get back to do this. I'm going to make sure I work on this project, whatever. That's fine. But some of those things, if you don't do them for a week or two, it's not the end of the world. If I don't meet with that guy at 10 a.m., it's going to be a problem. So I put big rock things on here. These are things that must happen that day, or places that I have to show up at a certain time, or if I'm not there, you know, there's a problem, right? So I'm putting big rocks on here. I can look at stuff. I can physically write, like here, we were out of town, so I mark out the whole week. So when I'm looking at, I need to meet with somebody, I want to talk with somebody, my kid's got a schedule. Nope, that week is blocked out. We're not around. But I can get back to you at this point. I don't know if I said this yet or not. Get yourself a spiral-bound notebook and a pencil. And again, I carry a backpack most places. That's just the nature of the job I do. I know not everybody does that. Man, put down the front seat of your vehicle. Put that in your locker at work or whatever. And yeah, somebody's going to make fun of you. You know, like I said, when my wife would go in here and get her calendar and I'd bring it in and have to write, I said, what are we doing? I look like old people doing this stuff. When I finally humbled myself, I had to tell her, you were right. That is a game changer. And I had now, until the Lord comes, I believe, I think I'll probably be going this route. I don't think I'm going any smaller because the squares get harder to write in. But it just helps you keep your sanity, man. Amazon, look on there. If you need it, I'll put the link in the show notes. Hey, it's just a thought. Do with it what you want. I'll talk to you in a minute.